Good morning, everyone, and welcome back. Well, yesterday we had a beautiful spring rain all day and well into the night. So that makes it a great day to go look for trees. And the water was just running everywhere in the shale pit when I got back there. So this is an old 4x4 trail. In the old days, it was oxen cart trails. And check out this pine tree that I came across. This tree's been growing here for at least 100 years. Quite a tree. It's got lots of natural gens on it. A big blanket of pine needles under it. So when I go out the back of that pit where we've seen a lot, this trail goes for about a half a mile through the forest. And it eventually gets to another shale pit. So that's where I'm heading. And this one's got a nice lake in it. It's owned by a friend of mine that does excavation. And it's all been excavated at one point or another. There's always a big demand for fill around here. So this is a different shale pit that I've never looked around this area before. So you can see there's lots of little trees. I spotted one down in here. I'll have to keep them in my memory. It would make a good tree for a forest planting. But I wasn't really looking for that today. But it's a good one. And when I got down here, there was a couple of geese enjoying the lake. Luckily, this isn't a survivor video. Not a catch and cook. No geese were harmed in this video. I'm only hunting bonsai trees. But they were having a nice day. So it's time to get down to business. This was the first little tamarack that I spotted. And it just came out like butter. Wasn't much holding that tree in there. It's just the nature of the tamaracks. They just don't have aggressive roots. And it had the usual low suckers on it. Very common for the trees that grow in shale to have those. So this was the second tree. A little bit bigger tamarack. Had these two big rocks up on it. So being a little bit bigger, it was a little more rooted. but it didn't take much to get it out. It's a nice little upright tree. So this turned out to be the most interesting tree of the day. This tree is probably about 20 years old and very stunted. It's a multi-trunk tree, and it had one really strange branch that rooted back into the ground. But it was growing in the usual shallow soil and had a nice radial root system, and it turned out to be the most interesting tree for sure. Has a lot of character. Just needed a lot of those low branches removed. Since it rained yesterday, a nice steady rain all day long, the ground is just perfect for harvesting these trees. When they're full of water like this, they pretty much have 100% chance of survival. So it has a lot to do with me deciding to go get them. So on the way out, they were still hanging around, but there they go. So this is a little creek and a makeshift bridge over it for the 4x4s. It's just water running everywhere this time of year. So I don't take very many birch trees anymore. I have quite a few of them, but they're not the best tree to try to sell because they come out really nice in the spring, but they get really ratty in the fall. But that one was interesting enough to pull out on the way home. So this is the box that I made for that big tree. You can see it had one really strange branch that rooted back into the ground. And for a while I was thinking that I would keep that branch and try to make it part of the composition, but it was really strange looking, and once it didn't fit in the box, I decided to cut it off. I think it looks a lot better without it. It's just a little too strange of a limb on it. So as usual, it's all about making a nice trunk on them. So I wanted to get it trimmed up quite a bit. Here I'm thinking about what I'm going to do with that limb. You can see it wasn't going in that box. So I decided to cut it off. And I think it ended up looking a lot better without it. So with that gone, it fit in the box just fine. And right there is about where it ended up. This tree's never had any tree compost, so I know it'll be really happy. That's one of the fun things about this, is giving them something they've never had before. It would be really hard to duplicate this tree from seed. You'd have to torture it for 20-25 years. But it's better just to let Mother Nature do that and go harvest them when they're ready. At least in my opinion. Because this tree's had a hard life living right there exposed like it was. Never had any shade on it or any protection from the weather. But it's what gives them character. And this one's got it. So it's always good to work the soil in around the roots some. Add more from the top to make sure box is all full of soil. And many times when you're planting something like this, a rock can make all the difference. And I wanted to change the angle of this tree slightly. And the way to do that is to use a rock against it. This was a really cool rock that I found around here. This allows me to change the angle on the tree just slightly. And it makes a huge difference sometimes, just changing the angle of them a little bit. And this is the time. This is the time to do it. So this tree's never had any moss on it either, so gets a good moss job. Keep it nice and mulched. And overall, I'm real happy with this one. It has a lot of character, very interesting tree. All right, this one's got an interesting trunk. Has a bit of a windswept look going from this angle. This branch could be wired to straighten it out some, but for right now, I'll just let it get comfortable in the box. Alright, so here's the upright tree. And first I want to get rid of a bunch of those low branches on it. Expose some trunk. This tree has a real nice shape. I can sell this tree for a pre-bonsai or for someone that just wants a nice little tamarack tree. So I'm putting it in one of these plastic hanging baskets. I get lots of these for free in my box down at the end of the driveway. And they make great things to develop trees in. Makes a convenient thing to take them to the market in and for people to take them home. So I'm always looking for tamaracks that are about this size and the upright shape. And this is a nice looking one. So here's the pot that the birch tree ended up in. I'll be adding that one to my collection. It's got potential. Alright, I got the rest of them potted up from today. That's a nice little tree. These trees will be for the market probably in a year. Let them winter over one time. I hope everyone's having a great bonsai day. And I'll see you next time on Bonsai by the Sea.